Hi there, welcome to Morning Cup of Joe, Coffee and Credit. I'm Yvonne, and today I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you. Growing up, my dad didn't teach us a whole lot about home maintenance. His dad didn't teach him a whole lot about home maintenance. My grandfather was a truck driver, he was a truck stop owner, he was a gambler, he was a pool shark. He was not the person who knew how to maintain a house. And he taught my dad how to drive a truck. He taught my dad to be an entrepreneur, but he did not teach my dad about home maintenance. So guess what? I don't know a thing. But I do have a friend who knows things. And in the days before DIY and YouTube, we didn't have a way to figure out how to do it ourselves unless you had a personal friend that could do that for you, or unless you paid for it. And my dad was not going to pay for it. So a lot of things at our house didn't get done, but I've got somebody here who's going to help us with that. Robert Cox, he is a builder, he is a contractor, he is also the co-owner of Remax Lifestyle. He is an entrepreneur, very successful in many different areas, and he's also tech support for me. He's the guy who makes sure I know how to get this done. Now, I don't blame him for any of my mistakes, but he does help me get it right when I get it right. So, Robert, I want you to tell us what we need to do in spring and summer to get our home ready. What are your top 3 home maintenance tips this time of year?
Springtime, just coming off of the winter, is a great time to go through your house and check for leaks, leaky pipes, leaky drains. It's also a good time where you're doing that to check the outside, as far as irrigation, water running away from the house, not to the house, and pest intrusion. So a lot of springtime pests are, making their way back into your home.
I wouldn't have thought about that one, but yeah, that's a big one. But you mentioned water intrusion. We do have a lot of rain in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a crawl space, that creates a problem.
It can. Most homes, the water is, or the ground is designed to run the water away from the crawl space. Sometimes water level builds up and runs through the foundation into the crawl space. Most people don't want to get into their crawl space to check. But if you are so brave enough to do that, you can always just open the door and take a good flashlight and just shine it around the crawl space to see if there's any moisture or any signs of water, or any we have a lot of red clay here, so any lines on the plastic covering where the water may have run across it, the telltale sign that there's been water in the crawl space.
All right. Okay. So if we see water in the crawl space, what are we supposed to do? Or if we see telltale signs, what are we supposed to do?
Best thing to do is to check your vents. Make sure the vents are open in the spring so that the airflow can get through and dry it back out. And then if you think it's bad enough, to call someone who specializes in crawl space, Dry Otter, one of those types of companies, and they will come in, typically inspect it for a nominal fee.
Right. But the nominal fee is a lot less expensive than the damage that water can do under your house.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that water intrusion into your house or into your crawl space can make you sick.
Yeah.
50% of the air you breathe inside the house infiltrates through the crawl space up into your house.
Yeah, that is a big concern.
Another thing water does, it attracts termites. Termites can't live without water source nearby.
That's very impressive to know. So now that I've got my crawl space being taken care of because there's water, and I've also had to call out my exterminator. It's always smart though.
Yeah. Especially in springtime, especially like we get a lot more water in the spring, a lot more rain.
All right. Okay. Well, that's really helpful. So if I noticed that you mentioned a couple names, where is the best place to go to find someone like an exterminator or someone to help with the crawl space inspections, or even to help with leaks? Would you go just straight on one? Who would you recommend people, or where would you recommend people start the search for someone to come help them with these issues?
The best way to find anybody that you don't know is to ask your friends and ask your family if they've had to have this service performed at their home.
Okay.
Word of mouth is always the best referral system.
Cool.
Otherwise, if you go online and look, you look at Google reviews, just find someone that, is in your area so they don't charge you trip fees and things like that.
Okay, because not every time do you think about trip fees, but that is a very important thing to talk about. So, okay, so we've gotten spring done. What about summer?
Summer's getting hot. Best thing to do, check your roof. Make sure there's no holes or cracks. Make sure, at least some of the rocks are still on it, because I've seen roofs that didn't have any rocks left on the shingles. Another thing to do is check your insulation. A lot of older homes don't have enough insulation in the attic for our sometimes 100-degree weather. And the best way to do that is you can go to Lowe's and buy a infrared thermometer, and you can take the temperature of anything you can point a laser at.
Ooh.
And they're not expensive, and they're super handy. You can even find water leaks with them. Because when the water leaks, it changes the temperature around it.
Wow, that's cool. I had a home inspection, well, not a home inspection, but a roof inspection recently, and he did that. So that's cool, and I can do it myself. That's it almost makes me giddy, and for those of you who don't know, that's a really big thing, because I don't really care about stuff like that.
One little hack to use with it, if you think your refrigerator's not getting cold enough, just open the door and check it with the infrared thermometer. Awesome. If your oven's not getting hot enough, check it with the infrared thermometer.
Hey.
It comes in handy for a myriad of uses.
That was your $50 tip right here, right now. That's the reason to be here and to check this out. All right. Anything else as far as summer goes?
Checking around your windows for air infiltration. That's always a good thing to do. At least once a year, just check your pipes. Hopefully your air conditioning's working. That's another thing you can use the infrared thermometer for, is to check the vents in the roof or the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
Hit them and see what the temperature are, and variations in different rooms.
Awesome.
It's pretty neat. Another good thing, if you have any kind of siding, is to start check the siding for cracks around the windows and the doors. Go around the bottom of it and feel if it's coming loose from the wall, because that's easy for pests to get up into. If your floors, they're starting to pop or creak, that's a good time to get up under in the crawl space and check those. As far as home maintenance, in the summertime, other than trying to stay cool and keep the humidity down, that's pretty much it.
So to keep the humidity down, do you think a dehumidifier is of value?
And around here it is, because most of our crawl spaces have vents, so the air from the outside is moving through them, and we have an 85-90% humidity. A lot of that humidity gets in there and doesn't get out, so having a dehumidifier in your crawl space is a great thing to do.
Awesome. So that was your $100 tip, because that will save you a lot of money, I'm sure. All right. So, and the best place to find people that can help us with these tasks is word of mouth and friends.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today, Robert. I am so glad you were here, and I appreciate your help on summer and spring maintenance tips.